Freya, the most beautiful goddess, was walking through Asgard, remembering how she got to be there. For Freya is one of the Vanir, who live in Vanaheim. Now, how does a Vanir end up in Asgard? Long ago, there was a great and terrible war between the Aesir and the Vanir. But both sides realized that this war led to nothing. And so they made peace again. And to keep the peace, some of the Vanir went to Asgard and some of the Aesir went to live in Vanaheim. So it came to be that Njord, Freyr and Freya went to live in Asgard. And from the Aesir, Mimir and Hoenir came to live in Vanaheim. And there was peace. Okay, there was a minor incident, but with the creation of a new god, that was solved as well. And there was peace. Now, the Aesir and the Vanir were still different. The Vanir were gods of nature, love and lust, where the Aesir were more of warfare, wisdom and strength. And there was another thing. A magic that the goddesses of the Vanir had. A magic to travel far without actually leaving. Now, the Aesir knew about magic and they didn't care about this one that much. But there's one of the Aesir who found this magic really interesting. Odin, All-Father. He is the god of wisdom, and he became the god of wisdom to take a sip out of the well of wisdom. When he had taken that one sip, he had been given a vision about eons of time, the ending of time, Ragnarok. And since then, it was his quest to postpone Ragnarok as far as he could. This magic of the Vanir could help him. And he had to learn this magic. He must. And then, of course, from the one who was most capable in doing this, Freya. But she knew this and was not of the opinion that Odin was worthy in learning this magic. So she went away from Asgard. She went to travel the realms. And there where she went, she sang. She sang for the animals, the plants and the trees. She sang for the fish who swam down and brought back up the most shiny pearls. She sang for the birds who flew out and brought back the sweetest nectar. She sang for the plants and the trees who bowed down and with their blossom made a most beautiful crown. Freya sang and she sang until she noticed not to be singing just for the plants, the animals, the trees, because out of the woods came a man. Him again, because there came Odin, and he came to give her compliments, sweet talk, as he had done so the last couple of days. Yeah, hair as red as the upcoming sun, eyes that sparkle as 1,000 stars. All right, Odin, I know why you're here, and the answer is no. But Freya, as your beauty is both a blessing and a curse, so too is the wisdom for me. Freya, I ask you to learn me your magic. You don't really think that I am going to teach you the ways of cider? Freya, it is of the utmost importance that I learn it. For all our sakes, I must learn it. Very well, Odin. If it's that important to you, what's it worth to you? And Odin fell silent, because that question he had been asked before. When he wanted to take that sip out of the well of wisdom, it was that question that Mimir asked him. What is it worth to you? Odin had given one of his eyes for that single sip, and he hoped that this time he had not to give such an high offer. But he came prepared. He had brought gold, silver and jewels for Freya and showed her that. Really? This stuff? Man, if I go to the dwarves, I get 10 times this stuff. The next day, Odin took Freya to an empty space. Here, Freya, I will build you a hall as big as you want it, as beautiful as you want it. Tell me how you want it. It will be done. Very nice, Odin, but truly not good enough. And over the days, Odin came back with more gifts, but none of them were good enough. And Odin became desperate. What could he give Freya that she didn't have already? One more idea. A husband. Freya wasn't wed, and she could choose. She could choose Thor, his first son. She could choose Balder, his most beloved son. She could choose Odin himself. It would be done. You know, that's nice. I mean, first, all those guys have to divorce their current wife. And man, the gossip for that will be food for years. Now, Thor, very strong, not that bright. Balder, pretty boy, but not much. And let's face it, Odin is just too old. And Freya got an idea. She didn't want a husband, she wanted to be free. You've got such a lovely hall in Asgard, Odin. Valhalla, where all those fallen warriors go. I know why it is you saved them, Odin. I know. And if you want to learn a magic, you will give me half of those warriors. They will go to a hall you will build for me. Folkvanger will be its name, and there my warriors will go. But above all, I want to choose which warrior goes to my hall. I want the first choice. Odin fought deeply. Deep. Not long. Very well, Freya. You will get half of the warriors. You will get your hall and the first choice. Now please, learn me your magic. And Freya took Odin along to a secluded area and told him why it was only the goddesses of the Vanir who can do this magic. It is woman's magic. So if Odin wants to learn this, he needs to open up, be vulnerable, turn himself into a woman. And Odin fought again. This would ultimately come to Loki. And if Loki knew, everyone knew. But again, Odin did not think long. He opened up, dared to be vulnerable, turned himself into a woman, and thus learned the magic from Freya. And if Odin, all-father of the gods, can turn himself into a woman, then the most strongest man should be able to do that for a little bit himself. And that story begins on a beautiful morning, when the sun is just rising up in Asgard. Her rays are shining upon the palaces of the gods. Everyone is still sound asleep, waiting to be welcomed by the call of the rooster.
Where is my hammer?
That cry was not of the rooster. That cry could only come from the hall of Thor. Every god and goddess came rushing and saw Thor stamping out of his hall. Someone has stolen my hammer! Where is Loki? Loki, god of pranks. But Loki was standing amongst all the other gods and goddesses. Me? Stolen Mjolnir? Guys, have you already forgotten that it was I who got it in the first place? I mean, this could only be giants, and I think I know which giant. And so Loki traveled to Jotunheim, directly to the king of giants, Thorin. He came to his castle, wanted to knock on his doors, but they were already open. Loki was welcomed by none other than Thorin himself. Well, 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 look who it is, Loki. Well, come on in, dude, have some food, have some drink. But you gotta tell me, what are you doing in Jotunheim? Have you lost your marbles? No, sire. My marbles are safely up here. Not even a thief in Asgard will be able to get them. Thief? What are you talking about? Oh, come on, Thrym. One of your giants has stolen Mjolnir. Be wise and give it back. It's better to get Thor's fangs than his vengeance. Loki, dude, I open up my doors for you. I offer you food and drink, and now you're gonna accuse me of that? Nah. But Loki is no fool. He looks around that castle. Where could it be? Maybe in one of the towers. If I disguise myself into a scroll, I can climb up and... Nah. Giants don't hide hammers in towers, they're too big. Maybe in one of the dungeons. If I disguise myself into a rat... Loki. All right, I'll admit I've stolen Mjolnir. But I've buried it 8 days underground and only I know where. But I don't want to keep it. Nah, I'll trade you. I'll give back Mjolnir if Freya becomes my bride. Yeah. And with that message, Loki travels back to Asgard. And Loki already knows Freya is not gonna marry that giant. King of giants are not chosen democratically. It's the biggest, strongest dude around, so it's a crooked nose, missing teeth. You get the picture. But Loki tells Thor what Thrym wants. So Thor marches to Freya, knocks on the door. Well, Freya, good news, I can get my hammer back. Congratulations, you're getting married. Well, Freya slams the door shut and isn't being seen for 3 months. Luckily, the Aesir are gods of wisdom, and they hold a meeting. And one of the gods have a good idea. Heimdall. He says, well, those giants may have stolen Mjolnir, but they aren't that bright. If he would disguise Thor as a bride, send him to the giants, they would never know. Now it's Thor's turn to be stubborn. Heimdall, have you not eaten your apples of late? Are you going senile? You don't really think that I am going to dress up as a woman? The man in Midgard will think me not a true man anymore. Luckily, Loki is there as well. So, here we are, coming up with a plan to get Mjolnir back. But the one who has lost it won't cooperate? Then he should take better care of it. He has to dodge a blow from Thor. Oh, come on, Heimdall's plan is perfect. And if you do this, I'll go along too. I'll be your bridesmaid. We'll both go as a woman. And you really think this is gonna work? Of course, what could go wrong? Well, if you put it like that, it's a good prank. This is gonna be told for years. I'll do it. So, word is sent out to the giants that Freya will arrive in 9 days, which will give the giants enough time to dig up that hammer and the gods enough time to make a beautiful bride out of Thor, because man, that's gonna be a challenge. Not so with Loki. He dives into the first wardrobe of any given goddess. Sif, red, is that my color? Odin, stripes, is that really my thing? Freya, I know you're not talking to me, but just for a moment, does this dress make me look fat? Loki, no issue. Thor, oh man, hair all over, and no shaving blades will avail against those shins. So 2 giant wax straps are being placed on his shins. 200 men of Valhalla are needed to pull those strips off. You thought that Thor was yelling loudly just now? You should have heard him then. But then his shins are hair free. Next up is arms. Luckily, shaving blades will avail. So every goddess, every maiden turns in her blade. And on the end of the day, all the blades are blunt, but the arms of Thor are hair free. And one more thing, his beard. But the one daring to go near his beard will limp for the next month, because no one will touch the beard of Thor! Luckily, they have enough time, so they create a veil. And each day a new part is being added, so it becomes so large, so big, that the beard won't be noticeable. And then the dress. Ladies and gentlemen, the dress. Made by the most finest linen, inlaid with silver and gold. Brissing amen is being used to make it look authentic. So Freya gets to see the dress and almost regrets not marrying. That beautiful is that dress. And then the time comes. The bride and bridesmaid go to Jotunheim, where the giants are waiting. Cause no one would Freya marry, but our king did it. Well, welcome Freya. In the kitchen is some dishes from the previous party. You can start on those, and after that, we'll see. Bride? Yeah, so you need to learn to take care of your husband. Come on, chop, chop, chop. So there stands Thor, in his dress, in the kitchen with Loki doing the dishes. Freya, that's not really how a bride needs to sound. Come on, you must know a song or something. La 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 la. There stands the bride. But she isn't married just yet. So when giants walk by, it's and smack! Freya, remember why we're here? Control your temper, count to 10 or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thor manages to hold in his temper. The whole day he's slaving away in the kitchen. Evening comes. He has to walk on the arm of that ugly giant to the dinner table. Within the middle, the honored seat for Tarim. On his right side, the bride, and on his left side, the bridesmaid. Giants sit down. Food and drink are being served. But before one giant has taken a bite or a drink, the bride has already devoured 1 entire oxen, 3 boars, 7 salmon, and 9 kegs of mead. Oi! Is that normal for a goddess? Majesty, Majesty, and it's nothing to worry about. When Freya got the news she got to marry you, she couldn't eat or drink for 9 days. Oh, is that it? Well, to be honest, I love a woman who can eat and drink. Come here, honey, let me give you a kiss. And Tarim bends over, wants to lift the veil to give her a kiss, looks in her eyes, and sees 2 lightning bolts coming back. Oi! Is that normal too? Sire, that is nothing strange. That's her look of anxiety, of anxiousness. She hasn't slept for 9 nights as well. And you know, she is the goddess of love after all, so she hasn't been able to do that either. get those priests and get those hammer. We need to take this bride to a new level. Come on. So, in come the priests, in comes the hammer, carried by 4 big giants, and the hammer is being placed in the lap of the bride, who sighs, grabs the hammer. Here, have your kiss! And with one strike, kills Thorim in his throne. And the giants are in panic. This isn't Freya, this is Thor, who has his hammer again. Run! And the giants make a run for it. But Thor grabs his hammer, throws it from the one giant to the next, and kills all giants. And then Thor and Loki walk back home as real men, though still in a dress. Back home, a great feast is being held in Thor's hall. And when the feast is done, the guests have left. Sif, the wife of Thor, wakes up because Thor isn't in his bed just yet. She walks down, hears a sound from the kitchen. What does she see? Thor doing the dishes.